So this is the year of the metal rat, and we're going into the year of the metal ox. And so we've been talking a lot about metal. And so what is this metal all about? Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn, your practical astrologer, here to talk to you today about Chinese astrology and the 5 element system. So currently it's 2020 still, and it's the year of the metal rat, and we will be going into the year of the metal ox next year. And so that is that we are doing the element of metal. Now, in the Chinese system, there are 5 elements as opposed to the Western system of 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water. So the 5 element system is wood, fire, earth, metal, water. And these can exist in different cycles. One is a creative cycle and one is a destructive cycle. There's also a reducing cycle that we use a lot in feng shui, but these first 2 cycles are what's important about what we're going to talk about today. So this is different than the Western system, where the elements don't really interact with each other, or they interact on the most basic terms. But in the Chinese astrology system, they do interact, and the elements themselves were originally based on the 5 visible planets. So Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. And so each of them was assigned an element. And so that's where we get some of this interaction going on. Now, what the interaction means is that whatever element you are personally is going to interact either favorably or unfavorably, or be in a neutral stance with the element of the year. Now, the element of the year would be the entire world, so that would be the bigger element, and your personal element would be the smaller element. If you don't know what your element is in the Chinese system, it's really easy to find out. I'm going to put some links in the description box below, and you can just click on those, put in your birth date, and you will see it. There's also a page on my website where you can just scroll down. You don't even have to put your birth date in, and you can see your element. So let me just quickly go through the 5 elements and give you kind of a little thumbnail sketch of what it is they represent, starting with wood. Now, wood, I describe wood as that everyone who is wood believes that the world would become a better place if everyone would just grow. If people would, be introspective, if they would look at their lives, if they would grow mentally, spiritually, if they would, grow their muscles, if they would grow their business, anything that can do growth, if you are wood element, you believe would help the world. The next element would then be fire. And so fire people believe that the world would become a better place if people would just do something, if people would take action. And that's because fire is about action, about, what you can do and what you can do right now. Thinking, planning, waiting, all of that is not for fire element people. It is about doing something and maybe figuring it out on the way. The next element is earth. And so people who are born under the element of earth believe that all problems in the world would be solved if people would just pause for a moment. Because earth is about meditation and waiting and taking your breath and understanding that a lot of the issues in the world will work themselves out if you just wait, if you just pause for a moment. And so that is the essence of this is, how to do a meditation, how to listen to the universe, how to be grounded, how to just wait for the seeds that you've planted to grow. The next is metal, and people who are born under the metal element believe that all problems in the world would be solved if people would just organize their resources. And so that metal is about resources, about, what you have in the way of money, stuff, people, and information you can access, the help you can get. Everything is about what are your resources and how are you organizing things. So it is very much about not only having the resources, but knowing where you put them, so if you need them, you can get them. And then finally, there's water, and people who are born under the water element believe that all problems in the world would be solved if people would just talk to one another. And so the water element is about communication. And so this is kind of illustrated by it being water. So, people could live by a stream and get in a little boat and go visit other villages. Water brings people together, kind of the watering hole. Water itself has a tendency to move from thing to thing. So water, it represents communication. So now we are going into the second of 2 metal years. The elements are always done in pair, a yang first and then a yin. And so we are going from the yang metal year into the yin metal year. And so if you are born metal, then everything is pretty much as you expect. Everything is about how much resources do we have? Do we have enough to get by? And this is the thing that caused us to grab a lot of toilet paper and maybe hoard a little bit at the beginning of the pandemic. And this is causing us to decide whether, we should be more minimalist, whether we have too much stuff, whether we don't have enough, or specifically what stuff would be good to have. And we will go into another metal year where we are taking some of those resources and again deciding, what to save, what to invest, or what to put out into the world. If you are born in the year of water, that means the larger is the metal, that's the world, and metal creates water, and so therefore the entire world is creating you. That means that anything that you need, the universe is ready to provide for you. So water people are going to be extremely fortunate in this current year and next year, because when you put out that you need something, you are able to make it happen. So this is a very harmonious thing where the entire world is helping to support and create you. Now, if you are born wood, you are on the destructive cycle. So the larger metal is destroying wood, so metal chops wood. And this means that the entire world is coming to you and saying, I kind of like what you're offering, but could you slice it and dice it this way? It is, I don't want the whole sandwich. I want a piece of it. Or I want you to take the sandwich that you're trying to give me, but I want more lettuce and I want less cheese. And, so the entire world keeps coming to you and saying, I kind of want what you're doing, but I want you to take it apart and kind of destroy it. And so you can give it to me in the form that I want. And so this is what you've been experiencing in 2020 and you will experience in 2021. For those people who are born under the sign of Earth, Earth creates metal. And so what happens here is the smaller, that's you, is trying to create the entire world, the metal year. And so everybody that you run into says that you can help them. They may not want to pay you or pay you exactly what you're worth, but everybody wants you to create them. And so you are in high demand, as I said, may not be making the money that you want because you could be underpaid, but you also could be running yourself ragged, trying to be what everybody wants you to be, which is there for them. So those people who are born under Earth have to be aware of this. Now, if you are born fire, what happens is you are also on the destructive cycle, but you, the smaller fire, are trying to melt the entire world to form it into something that's useful for you. So you are taking what other people are offering you and you are trying to mold it into something that you can do for a living, or a relationship that's going to work, or a housing situation that's going to work. You're looking for, how can I take what's being offered and form it into something that I like, that I enjoy? And so you have enormous opportunities, but it takes some work. You have to do the effort and then things happen. And that's it. There is more information about the 5 Elements system on a program I did for Udemy, and it says it's for 2019, but there's a ton of videos that are evergreen in it, and there is a free program, so I'm going to leave a link in the description box below. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the like button if you like videos like this so I know to make more of them. And stay tuned because LaRue will want to say hi.